Thank you. Mr. Panetta, you're recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your work on this very important issue, Speaker Pelosi, as well as all the witnesses. Thank you for your time and preparation for coming here today. Once again, my name is Jimmy Panetta. I represent the Central Coast of California. Within that falls Gilroy, California. And I'm proud to represent not only that town, but share it with Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, who was here earlier today, but she had to leave to go to a markup in the Judiciary Committee on gun control legislation. Now, what you got to know about Gilroy is that they're very proud of their garlic, let me tell you. As an Italian, I can understand that. But Gilroy will always has been and always will be defined by their pride of that garlic. And let me tell you, it's no better demonstrated than in a 3-day festival called the Gilroy Garlic Festival, which on Sunday, July 28th, I was able to take my 13-year-old daughter to and experience that pride. Let me tell you, as we were there, I never, ever could have imagined what happened 2 hours after we left. And that a young man who had purchased a gun, an assault weapon in Nevada, and numerous rounds of ammunition, brought that assault weapon into California, sneaked it into the event, actually cut a hole in the fence, sneaked that firearm into the event, and indiscriminately started shooting, in which he killed a 13-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 25-year-old. Now, fortunately, the Gilroy police, who I actually saw there that day, engaged and subdued that shooter. Now, it was amazing to me that subsequent to that shooting, people came up to me in my district and asked, what have we been doing? What have we been doing? Now, I was fortunate enough to say, thanks to the leadership of Chairman Thompson, that we did our job and we passed H.R. 8 and H.R. 1112. But it's been 195 days since we passed that bill. And as you just heard from one of our witnesses, 15,000 deaths have occurred because of gunfire in the meantime. Clearly, I think we all know that's a failure of leadership is what it comes down to. Failure of leadership in the Senate, failure of leadership in the White House. And I believe that America is absolutely yearning for action on gun safety reform. Anything, something, therefore we need to do everything we can when it comes to gun safety reform. I can tell you that Gilroy will always define itself by garlic. It will not define itself by the shooting that occurred at the Garlic Festival. And I can tell you as members of Congress, we need to make sure that we don't define ourselves by the inaction of the Senate and the lack of leadership by this White House. A good friend of mine said something that's very true. Yes, thoughts and prayers are appropriate, but they are clearly insufficient. The only thoughts that we should have are what we should do on gun safety reform. And the prayers that we will have is if we fail to do anything on gun safety reform. Now, that being said, Chief, I'd like to ask you, in regards to your experience in St. Louis, as well as your knowledge based on your time at the FBI National Academy, the Police Executive Research Forum, as well as the FBI National Executives Institute. Tell me about your experience in dealing with guns coming in from out of state, how that affects victims of firearm violence. In 30 seconds, sir.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Well, it's difficult, as we spoke to control the flow of weapons into the community when you have particular laws in your state. The surrounding states have laws that are very lenient. And so, individuals pick up on that and they know where they can get guns to bring them into your community. So it makes it very challenging for investigations and for law enforcement in the community.
Thank you.